Greetings, all! Today, we'll be examining the relatively rare fighting flying-type Pokemon Hawlucha, the Wrestling Pokémon. Flashy in their moves and more than able to put on a show when presented in a fight, Hawlucha are experienced fighters that can more than make a name for themselves when they step into an arena.
Hawlucha are bipedal avians with 3 small toes on their feet and 3 yellowish-white claws in each hand. Their lower legs covered in muddy brown feathers, while their thighs and torso are white, and their arms, neck, back of the body, the center line of their face, and the tip of their nose are bright red. They have green feathers covering the majority of their head, as well as the large wing feathers that stretch over the distance between their shoulders and their fingers and beyond, with a pair of orange feather crests on their head and an overall curved skull shape. Their orange-rimmed, piercing yellow eyes with black sclera, looking out towards those that dare to challenge them.
Hawlucha is a rare species to behold, and somewhat of a treasure that few other fighting or even flying-type Pokemon can exceed in terms of raw natural skill.
While they might look anthropomorphic in form, Hawlucha are in fact birds, and exhibit many of the same courtship behaviors exhibited by other bird Pokemon in places like the Kalos region. The obvious difference then, of course, is the fact that these beasts are born for battle and little else. The anthropomorphic form that these birds have taken on is one that is shockingly similar to the luchador wrestling tradition, and although they are not believed to be directly related, the coincidence is nonetheless intriguing.
These beasts prefer to walk on the ground instead of flying, but this is mostly because their lower limbs are better adapted for walking on the ground in a humanistic fashion than they are for anything else.
On that same note, the wings of these beasts, although perfectly capable of enabling them to fly, have powerful claws on the ends with opposable digits that enable them to grab things much like a human. Both of these traits seem to be the result of these creatures adapting not to a predatory lifestyle as in other birds, but a lifestyle based completely on wrestling. The reason why this is the case is a huge mystery, but Hawlucha are nonetheless natural-born fighters able to use powerful fighting and flying type attacks at a young age, eventually learning some of the most powerful attacks of their type and gaining skills that an authentic luchador would be proud of. They do not have the sheer muscle power of other fighting types in the position, but what these birds lack in raw power, they more than make up for in agility and cunningness.
Hawlucha are particularly noteworthy among fighting types for their ability to combine the best aspects of the fighting and flying types in battle by doing what no other fighting type Pokemon is really able to actually do efficiently: battle from the air.
By flapping the wings gently, these birds can sustain a hover maneuver across the ground and can move quickly around their targets, looking for weak points and blind spots that they can exploit, diving at them and attacking with vicious blows before retreating to the air and repeating the process. Hawlucha are much faster than they look and can move around most opponents easily without really being noticed. The only warning sign that they occasionally give is a sharp cry right before they attack, but this is usually reserved for a flashy finishing blow because it tends to give away the position.
However, these birds may start to showboat in battle if they are feeling confident, and while this might be harmless in some cases, if they do so for too long when using any of their special moves, it can leave them open to retaliation and put them in a bind.
The fact that these beasts can attack from the air with little trouble nonetheless makes their attacks hard to defend against, a trait that most trainers will have to plan for when these birds hit the battlefield. Hawlucha are further gifted when it comes to employing submission holds both on the ground and in the air, as they can use their speed to wrap up opponents and place them into painful positions that are incredibly hard to get out of if they are not significantly larger than the Hawlucha performing them. Furthermore, it's noted that their unique flight abilities do grant Hawlucha a special signature attack, the Flying Press Attack, which more than makes them a severe issue in battle. In essence, the Flying Press Attack is a forceful nosedive that ends with Hawlucha slamming the entirety of their body weight flat onto the opponent. Aside from being relatively powerful in its own right, the attack is completely unique among other moves in that, while it is classified as a fighting type attack, it deals damage as if it was both a fighting and a flying type attack at the same time. The move is also guaranteed to always hit and deal twice as much damage if it strikes an opponent that has already used a minimize technique. Overall, this move is perfectly designed for these high-flying beasts and can more than put the opposition on their back in a heartbeat, making these otherwise small birds a lethal force for even muscular beasts like Hariyama and Machamp to contend with.
This is emphasized with their abilities as well, as their enhanced muscle reflexes allow these creatures to keep their bodies from locking up and can even boost their movement speed when they're able to drop anything that might be slowing them down, granting them access to limber and unburdened as base abilities, while those that are fiercer than normal and can directly target opponents and strike regardless of whatever special attributes might potentially protect them can have Mold Breaker as a hidden ability.
As far as the stats are concerned, as mentioned already, these creatures are not the strongest of the type and have to rely on technique and skill for most fights, most of their base stats being below average for a fully evolved fighting and flying type Pokemon, but at the very least their base attack stat is above average for a fully evolved flying type Pokemon, and their base speed stat is above average for a fully evolved Pokemon of both of their types, possessing the highest base speed stat out of all non-legendary and non-UB fighting type Pokemon, so they've at least got a bit of power and agility on their side when needed.
These amazing birds truly love to bring a bit of style and flair to any fight they are a part of, and they can more than do that in spades with their specialized array of attacks and techniques. Access to moves like Hone Claws early on can allow them to get an edge in a fight and ensure that their attacks are on point for all of it, and their efforts in training more than help to separate them from many other fighting type Pokemon. I find professional wrestling to be an interesting sport in how it emphasizes technique over raw power in some cases, and luchadors are especially well known for this sort of emphasis. Hitting someone hard is sure to take them down in some cases, but flair and showmanship can also help to make a match truly exciting and come down to skill overcoming raw power when pitted against each other. These fascinating birds might not be the best at taking hits or always dishing them out, but they sure as heck can put on a good presentation of their skills, and as a spectator, that's all I can really ask for in a match.
Though they might not come off as the most traditional fighters in any match, Hawlucha are talented birds that can more than put both their fighting skills and even attributes to good use when pressed to. They may not always be the easiest of creatures to find, but these birds can definitely be worth it if you can make the most of their unique attributes in a fight.
Just do yourself a favor and make sure that you give them all the room they need in order to execute their best attacks, or these literal high flyers may end up tossing an opponent out of the ring without any immediate care towards the direction, in turn making you a potential target if said toss accidentally comes your way.
Thank you all for watching this video. It is always a pleasure to help teach others about the world of Pokemon and the many facets of it that exist in both the world we call home and the world they call home. If you'd like, please leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell to this channel to get regular updates on content and anything else that might be going on. You can find me and my written work on DeviantArt under the name Untitled and be informed of information and content uploads on my Twitter page and my Patreon page. Donations are always welcome. Always remember, the world of Pokemon is a vast and varied place, and there's no telling what secrets might be hiding just around the corner. So keep watch, stay vigilant, and always prepare for the unexpected. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.